posted every day in January. 30 reels posted or 31 reels posted. Overall, I lost 100 followers. Fantastic. But
how is that equating regards to getting more bookings, or have you seen an increase in bookings?
So just post it, and if no one likes it, forget about it and start again the next day, and just keep doing it.
Hey, be sure you stick around because we're only getting warmed up.
Well, good morning, evening, afternoon, boys and girls, whatever else you identify as. Welcome to another episode of Think Wedding Business with me, Adam Wing, and him, Howard Wing. You know, I got that purposely the wrong way around.
Reverse it to start again.
For a bit of comedy value.
Very funny. Sorry, I'm just finishing my tea.
That's all right. Well, we have a really cool guest on today, guys. He's doing something very different, and he's caught mine and Adam's eye, certainly of late, with his social media strategy and what he's doing, because he's doing things very differently than what is generally expected for photographers or videographers or anybody in the wedding industry. We're always told social media, go on there, put all your nice weddings on and pictures of the venue and selfies with the bride and groom. And that is the kind of staple stuff people put on to show they're out there working, being busy. But today's guest is doing things a little bit different. So I'm going to introduce him, and then we're going to talk about things that he's doing. So we've got Andrew Keher.
Keher, like the car, but spelled differently.
Keher. We had a debate before we came on. Actually, we're like, is it Keher? Is it Keher? Is it Keher?
Oh, it's 5 letters
So,
that have caused
really
chaos
good start.
online. So don't worry about it.
We've clearly done our research on, and aside from the fact that
And we've all worked together.
I've known you over the years, I still don't know how to say your name.
No one knows how to say it. Don't worry, it's fine. It's fine.
Well,
So as I was just mentioning Adam before, Andy's really caught our attention with what he's doing on his socials. I know, particularly for me, Instagram. I spend most of my time on Instagram, and that's where I've been seeing what he's been doing. And are you TikToking as well, Andy? I imagine it's perfect for what you're doing on TikTok.
Well, I've started a TikTok account. I don't know what any of the buttons do, so I've not explored it fully yet. It's there if I ever get the urge to dive in, but as of this moment, no TikToks yet.
Right. Okay. Just so everybody's clear who you are. You are a wedding photographer, and he's not been featured in Vogue. He hasn't paid for that privilege.
I'm expecting the call any day.
Before we start, before we do start, go on your Instagram. Stop, if you're not driving whilst listening to this, go on your Instagram now and search Andy if you've not seen his reels already, because they are, if you're in the wedding industry, hilarious. I'm not sure anyone outside of the industry would find it as funny because it's super relatable to us, but they're so funny.
Yeah, that is, and you'll find him at Andrew Keher, which is Keher. Okay, and you'll see the picture. He's got a flower in front of his eye, and he's got a big long mane, like a proper mane of hair.
Especially the DMs in real life series, which we'll get into all that. But basically, because people ask us this, Howard, with our course, with our mentees, what do I post on social media? I don't know what. And you see everyone. I see everyone at the minute scrambling to post the same sort of content that's going to feed Instagram, inverted commas, feed the algorithm, and it's all the same sort of trends, and everyone's trying to get likes and trying to get maximum engagement, and therefore are just posting the stuff that works in inverted commas. And then you've come in, Andy, seemingly doing the complete opposite. And I know you a bit, so I know that when you're the stuff you're putting on is genuinely you. It's your sense of humor. It's your personality really comes through, and it's completely the opposite of what you expect the algorithm to want, and you expect a wedding photographer to be posting. But from an outside looking in, it seems seemingly working for you, and that's kind of what we want to find out today about kind of how your following's grown and what you're finding is coming as a result of that.
Why don't we ask how it actually started for you, and what made you change from doing the typical sort of posting than everybody else is doing and go to this very particular sort of comedy aspect and format, which probably doesn't relate to brides and grooms getting married, but it does relate to a lot of people in the industry. But what made you want to go down that route rather than do the typical kind of stuff? Did you have an epiphany, or did you learn it somewhere and think this is a good way to get
No,
to my work?
This all stemmed. I mean, there's two places from which it stemmed, but basically, I've had my Instagram account now since, oh my gosh, early doors. To whenever Instagram started, I don't think we were all far off the beginning. 2014, 2015, whenever it started, I can't quite remember. But we were on there and we were doing our thing. We were posting photographs and we were making our nice captions. And in the early days, you just seemed to be able to post your work, tag in the bride and groom, and the algorithm would do its thing and it would share it to people and people would find you and they'd follow you, and it was all lovely and everything grew, and that's all us photographers had to worry about. We were all blessed by the algorithm. As long as you posted something half decent, and you made a half decent caption, your work would be seen and people would find you. Something happened. I don't know if it was just happening pre-COVID or post-COVID, but around that period, social media just seemed to go very strange. I don't know if more people were using it, or there were more photographers, or the content creators were out there, the videographers. There just seemed to be so much more competition, I suppose. There just seemed to be a lot of stuff being posted, and the algorithm, it wasn't doing what it used to do. And so the tactics that I used to have, I mean, I never looked into strategies at all. I used to post a nice picture from the wedding, tag a few people in, and that was it. And it did its thing. And I grew a decent following. I think I went to about 8 or 9,000 in the early days, and I thought, this is easy. This is no problem. I've got this. I'm fantastic, and the world is my oyster. Then it stagnated completely for about, I feel like it was for about 3 or 4 years. It stagnated. I put my best pictures on there. I tried tagging venues in. I tried tagging suppliers in. I used my stories more, and it just, nothing seemed to happen. And it stayed like that for a long time. And as usual, I'm always late to the trends, and I'm late to the tactics. And these 30-day or one reel a day challenge for a month, a lot of people were doing those and seeing how far they could get. You post one reel a day and see what you do. You post your wedding galleries. You post you're getting ready to go to a wedding. You post a little bit of behind the scenes footage from a wedding. And I was looking at all these things, and I thought, yeah, I'll have a go at that. I'll try that. And I didn't. And this kind of trend disappeared. 12 months later, I thought, I need to do something. Instagram's not working for me. And I'm hearing all these stories of how successful people are on Instagram at getting their bookings in. All their enquiries come through Instagram, all their interaction, all their engagement. Website traffic comes from Instagram. People are clicking on links in bios. And I thought, I need to try and give this account a little bit of a kickstart. I'm going to try one of those one reel a day challenges. I had no idea what to post. I don't know. I had no video editing software. I didn't really know how it all worked, but I thought, sod it, let's post something. Let's post anything. And I think I started out by looking at what other people were doing, and there was lots of people giving tips to the bride and groom, or the couple, sorry. Lots of people giving tips to whoever it may be getting married. Lots of people giving tips to photographers, lots of people giving out video tips or posing tips, things like this. And I thought, yeah, okay, I can do this. I can attempt to do it. I think I lasted for about 3 days, 4 days before I completely ran out of inspiration on what to say or do. I've never been an educator. I've never been a teacher or an instructor. I feel like I don't have it in me to tell other people how to do things. So it kind of it did fall flat about week one of January this year.
It was. I was going to say it was this year, wasn't it, when you started
It was
doing
this
all
year,
this?
yeah,
January.
literally this January is when I started, and I was racking my brains. And I'm not sure when it started getting a bit weird, but I think it pretty much coincided with me thinking, I don't know how to teach anyone anything. So instead of trying to teach people things, I'm just gonna make a little video of a musing that I had, or a little thought about something, or my opinion on some aspect of the wedding industry. And that's when I started posting more weird videos, and they didn't set the world on fire or anything. I got a few likes and a few follows, but I stuck with it. I've posted every day. I posted every day in January, and I kept going, and it got to the end of January, and I ended up losing followers. I think that was my statistics for the month of January. 30 reels posted, or 31 reels posted, and all these likes and comments, and overall I lost 100 followers, or whatever it was. That was the takeaway from it. So I thought, fantastic. It's not working. It's not doing what I thought it was going to do. But what I found was that I actually enjoyed doing the daft videos. I don't know if it's I've always enjoyed posting my stupid opinions on things, and my commentary on life on Facebook in the old days, but then everyone left Facebook, so we moved to Instagram. And the problem is, see, look, this is where I'm going to go off on a tangent now, Adam. So get ready with your editing notes. I would often have something to say on Facebook, but then we moved to Instagram, and Instagram's a completely different it's a completely different setup. We're all very professional on Instagram. Everyone takes it very seriously. We say nice things to everyone. We like everyone's work. We comment. We leave our emojis around the place. We're very polite to each other in the wedding industry on Instagram, and so I couldn't be silly there. I had to be Andrew Keher, the artistic, creative photographer. And that's fine, because I think I am quite creative and artistic with my photographs. But there wasn't much personality coming through. And I've always thought that I've never been able to show that proper personality, because I thought that Instagram was ultra serious, ultra creative. I looked at my wedding idols, people like, oh gosh, names that's a name that springs to my mind. There's a photographer called Gabe McClintock, who's based in Canada, and he posts amazing artistic work, and often with a little line of poetry, and it just works for him. It's fantastic. I get lost in the pictures. I think he's brilliant. And I thought that the only way that I would get any traction on Instagram is if I did something similar with my work. I wanted to be the artist. I want to be the mysterious artist that everyone just loves their work, and they follow, and they book them for weddings. But although that is me and that's my work, it's not my true personality. And I think with the wedding industry, the way that it is now, a lot of personality is being lost in this social media jungle that we've got. Everyone, there's a lot more of us now. I think I read somewhere that this might be the wrong way around, but there was 50,000 weddings for 80,000 wedding photographers, or possibly the other way around in the UK. Whichever way around it is, there's a lot of us and not a lot of weddings to go around. and everyone's getting really, really good at taking photographs. Everyone's getting really good. There's people who've only been shooting weddings since COVID lockdown who are fantastic. Like the quality of the work is amazing.
Same with video, by the way, as well. And seeing it.
So
The
I don't know much
barrier to
about
entry
the
is
video
so.
side of things, but yeah, it's definitely a problem. Not a problem, but it's definitely a wake-up call. It was a wake-up call to me when I started to realize that unless I have something else, unless I have an edge or a recommendation, or my name is dropped inbox by a past bride or a past groom, if you don't have that edge, you run the risk of just being another lovely set of pictures on Instagram that are easily scrolled past, and I think that um, I did think about that a lot. That no matter if it's no matter my feelings on that, my brides and grooms, or my brides and brides, and my grooms and grooms, as they're scrolling Instagram, their attention is not on it. They're watching TV, they're doing something else. So you've got that split second to attract attention. And I think that photographs alone were not doing it for me. Um, it was not bringing in the views that I needed. I needed to get people slightly invested so that they would then go to my website and then really look at the photographs and read the words. That's the kit. I think that's what kickstarted my idea. It wasn't that I wanted to. It's not that I wanted people to fall in love with my pictures on Instagram and get in touch. It was always it was always an idea of mine to make my account more memorable, or there's something there that would make people stop and explore a little more, that might eventually lead them to going on my website and looking at my pictures and taking that next step. So that was in the back of my mind at first. So I made these reels in January, and I ended up losing followers. And I thought, but I enjoyed making them so much and putting a bit of my personality in, that I'm just going to carry on. I'm just going to keep doing it. And maybe the people who are leaving me are not the people that are interested in that kind of thing, and that's fine. And maybe I'll start to gather more like-minded people eventually. So I thought, I've got to try and do this for the long term, rather than that short 30-day challenge, which it was originally. I thought, I've got to stick with this and see what happens, because these are the stories that I hear from other people that I read about, or I hear them talking about. It's that they did something and then they stuck with it for 6 months or 12 months or 18 months. And at the end of it, they couldn't believe how far they'd come from where they started. So that's, yeah, the end of January was when I was in two minds whether to give up or carry on doing it. And I just carried on posting these daft videos. And I haven't stopped. And where are we? We're getting towards the end of June, and
You're
I haven't
still posting
stopped.
every day,
Not every day. I have calmed down a little bit.
or do you bulk make them and release them every day, or have you
No,
just
no,
chilled
no.
out?
I do everything the wrong way around. Everything that people advise you to do, I've done it completely wrong. I make things one at a time.
Yeah,
Um, I
but that's fine. There's
uh,
no right or wrong, is there? It might take you. It might be logical to batch make them and save you time, but if that workflow works for you, then that's fine, isn't it?
yeah, I think as well with the videos that I'm trying to do, I can't. I only think of them after a period of time. I don't think I could sit down and think of 10, maybe even 5. I couldn't think of 5 videos. I think I just go through the day and I do my stuff, and I look after the kids, and I do the school run, and I work on my photographs, and suddenly something will go, ah, that's funny. and sometimes there's no way I can make that video, so I just go, okay, I'll write it in my notes, and maybe one day I can do something with that. And then other times I'll go, oh yeah, no, do you know what? That doesn't need too many props or locations, so I could probably just do that now in 10 minutes, and I'll spend 3 hours messing around trying to do it, and then no one really likes it, or no one gets it, or I don't get it at the end of the of, what I started with is not what it ends up being, and no one ever sees it. So it's yeah, it's not a logical, organized way of doing things.
No.
I posted the wrong times. I post late. I post too late in the day. I post too early in the morning. I don't stick to a schedule. I have no strategy yet. That's going to come. That's going to come later.
I absolutely love the fact that you've trying to found something different to get people's attention away from the typical kind of wedding stuff that you see. And I think it's great you've stuck with that and thought, no, I'm gonna keep going, and just I want to create my account that's going to get people to keep watching. And
Well,
they're so funny. When you've watched one, you want to go and watch another one. But one of the questions that I'm really interested in to know is, how is that equating regards to getting more bookings? Or have you seen an increase in bookings? And have they said, right, we've saw all your funny stuff, and then we went on and had a look on your website, and then we fell in love with pictures?
Yes.
Has it worked? Has it really worked? And how long did it take to start working?
With brides and grooms specific, because we can get onto the suppliers and the benefits there. But
yes.
this is the thing.
That was going to be the other part of it you've just said there. We'll come back to that bit, because that's
stick with brides and grooms for now.
So for bride and grooms, yes, it's working, because all my couples so far have said, oh, and we love your stuff on Instagram. We've been watching that. We like your personality. We feel like you're someone that we can hang out with. Can we come and have a pint and we'll discuss our wedding?
These are new inquiries that are coming.
These are new inquiries. Now something that might be of interest to people, I don't know. I've never, although I've been shooting now for 11 years, that's horrendous, but I've been working now for 11 years. I've never shot high numbers of weddings. I've never gone after them to the extent that of some of our peers. I tend to aim, again, this might be information that's of interest, but I tend to aim for about 20 to 25 weddings a year. So my strategy has always been a little bit different to how other people might do it. I have a low amount of inquiries, but a very high conversion rate, I suppose you'd call it. So I think I haven't worked it out this year, but generally, once people get in touch, that turns into a booking.
Yeah,
I get very few kind of people I have to chase up to say, you got in touch, I sent you my price list, are you still interested? Generally, if people get in touch, they've looked on Instagram, they've gone on my website, they've got in touch, and then it's just meeting up in real life to finalize it, which is fantastic, and that suits me down to the ground. If I get my 20 or 25 weddings for the year, so this little experiment that I've done has resulted in more inquiries this year. The inquiries have seen Instagram, and it's been mentioned, usually in a positive way. Now, I don't see the other side of that. I don't see the people who take one look at it and go, bloody hell, what is this nonsense? Yeah. And then they never get in touch. So I understand there's a bit of bias.
No, but you're really kind of finding your target, your ideal couple there, aren't you? Because
yes,
they'll look at it and go, he's not for us, no chance. Scroll past.
This is another facet. The thing is, there's so many I feel like there's more facet. Oh, it sounds like I've started with a master plan, but I've kind of discovered more of these plus points as it's gone on in
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, the people who get in touch with me now are more on my wavelength, locked in. They know what they're letting themselves in for.
Yeah, so you really, by posting your videos, you really concentrate on that. You really like, you're not just getting the odd, because I'll get a lot of people that will just inquire because they've seen me online, whereas
Yes.
you'll be getting a much more highly concentrated, we like this person, and everyone else will go, nope, not for us.
Yes,
Yeah, it's a
exactly.
higher
So
conversion rate, isn't it?
I
Because
would
people
imagine that increases your conversion rate. Yeah.
Yeah, so the inquiries that come in now this year, um, they've been a lot more what's the word? They've given me a lot more information to go on as well at the inquiry stage, whereas maybe last year, the year before, the years before, it was always just a hello, we're interested in your photograph in our wedding. Can you send us some details? Now I'm getting full stories off people, and I don't know if
Because they're
that's
already invested in their heads. They're like, we're already having this guy.
so yeah, so maybe that is helping a lot. The people that are getting in touch, um, are seeing that. And now the other thing, now I don't know if this has got if this helps at all, but the website traffic from Instagram has gone like I think I have, gosh, there was a percentage that I looked on, but I think it's like 800% higher than it was this time last year. Just just people clicking on that link and going to my website. My traffic is right up. Now I don't know how I wish I knew how Google worked, but there's something in that which is now it seems to be pushing the performance of all the pages. So my overall ranking, for my various venues has gone up
Yeah, it will
mysterious
help your SEO
over
because
the
your
last six
website's just
months.
got more authority
So
because it's getting
more
more
people are
clicks.
going there, more people are spending time there. They're having a little look around. Who is this guy who's making these stupid videos? Does he have any actual weddings we can look at? Oh, right. So he does shoot weddings. Okay. And maybe they're spending a bit more time there. And so I've found that that's been another plus point is the website seems to have come alive a little bit, which has panicked me because I haven't updated my website in 6 months, and I kind of stopped doing that, and I looked at those statistics and thought, oh sugar, there's hundreds more people are coming to look at it, so that's on my list now is to go through
Yeah.
and fix me spelling mistakes and change a few of the chat GPT generated captions. Seeing as how I took the piss out of everyone using Chat GPT on a few of the reels, and I need to go back and change some of my website a little bit.
I really enjoyed the last post, Andy, where you were talking about the speeches in between courses. That resonated with me so much because I've only ever done one wedding where they had speeches between each course, and it was just a disaster. So I just found it hilarious, and the bit at the end about taking a picture with every guest with space of one song. It was hilarious.
No, Wilson.
Hilarious.
I mean that highlights something as well. I never intended to make content that resonated. That's the word we use, isn't it? I never meant to make content that resonated with the wedding industry. That was never my intent at all. It was always meant to be for bride and grooms. However, things took a turn, and so I had to rethink the plan. But it's okay. I've rethought the plan. But yeah, so things like that now. I didn't want to make anything like that. I didn't want to talk to the wedding industry. I love you all, but I didn't want to talk to you. I wanted to talk to my brides and grooms. But I thought, and then I had the next idea was actually I don't have much to say to my bride and grooms really on in a real format, if that makes sense. I can talk to them over a pint in the pub and tell them everything I'm going to do for them and how I'm going to work with them and what it's going to be like on the wedding day, and I can get on with them that way. But sitting down and trying to think of a video to talk to my bride and grooms, it was like, I don't know what to say. I sound like an idiot. So I had a different idea, and I thought I'm just going to talk about what I know and what I experience. And unfortunately, that's weddings and what we all get up to and what we see at the weekend. And I thought that by doing that, those are the ones that seem to start working. Those are the ones that started to get people clicking and commenting and engaging. And I realized that, okay, this is given my account a little bit of a boost. Things are coming to life. People are starting to click on things and leave me comments, and Instagram seems to like that. It seems to enjoy that people are engaging with it. So now the next reel and the next reel, it's showing to more people, and it's pushing my stuff out.
This is where your followers started growing back up again.
This is when it started to go up.
So did you made a conscious shift to post?
Yes,
I just knowing that suppliers are going to relate to this, and I'll do this for the benefit of my peers.
Yes, this was then. I had about 10 changes of plan in about a month period, but I told you there's no strategy. It was all just testing things and seeing what worked.
Love it.
Realized that if I was going to try and post a reel a day, I'd have to end up giving tips to brides and grooms. And they bore me to tears when I see those reels. I know they're fine, and people like doing them, and I'm sure some of them do very well. And I'm sure on TikTok they're absolutely massive with little tips for the bride and grooms. But whenever I tried to do one, I sounded so false and so just not me. It's just not me. It's not me at all. So I thought, right, well, I'm gonna let me do what's true to myself. Let's get my little take on the world, and the people who like that will find me, and it's going to make my account more engaged and more active. Once your account is more engaged and active, in theory, this is still to be tested, but when I start to drop photographs in now over the next few months, as the summer weddings play out and I've got lots more content to share, I'm going to start dropping photographs and be very weddingy about it in between the reels. My theory is that Instagram is now going to push my work more than it would have done 12 months ago.
Should do, yeah, shouldn't it?
So that's my theory. So I'm almost up to the point now, end of June, where I do have to come up with a little bit of a strategy about how I'm going to work in. Sounds so strange. How am I going to work in my actual work now with the reels that I've been posting? Whereas in January, it was like, how can I make a reel that fits in with all these photographs that I want to share with people? Now I've got completely the opposite problem. I don't know what photographs to share and how to do it. Whereas with the reels, I'm almost like, yeah, do you know what? I could go outside right now, think of something, film it, and put it on, and be quite happy with it, which is ridiculous. Like I would never have thought that 6 months ago. I'd be paralyzed. Yeah.
Now you've got the following, I imagine people will enjoy seeing your work because they've followed you on this journey for so long. They know you're a photographer. To now then start seeing your work sprinkled in with all the rest of it. Well, I mean, it makes total sense. But
the little thing that made me think, yeah, it's time to start doing this. I posted a little reel where I was on the balcony of a hotel when I was on holiday, and there was a wedding going on, and I took a few pictures of it and made a daft reel out of it, stealing wedding pictures when you're on.
I saw it. Yeah.
And the photographer who was actually shooting the wedding, he posted us a carousel on his Instagram page. And you know, when they tag in the suppliers, he tagged me in as the balcony the balcony ninja or the spy on the balcony or something.
Excellent.
Suddenly, all the people who'd been commenting on my reels were commenting on his slideshow, saying, "Oh, fantastic! Oh, these are amazing! Oh wow! So you can take photographs as well, and all this kind of stuff." So it was like Instagram's pushed, just because I was tagged in that carousel. Instagram has pushed that out to like.
Oh, there you go. I'm gonna tag you in my
page.
next 5 videos.
So I was like, I was thinking this kind of confirms my theory, because I did think that it's going to start hopefully pushing my actual photographs, but then just to be tagged in someone's photographs and keep getting the notifications of people liking it, and I thought, yeah, this could work. Now I just need to pull my finger out and
That wedding we did in the summer, I need to share that because I could tag you in it. It'll get loads more reach.
tag it in. Tag me in.
You know what? It's trying to find them strategies, isn't it? I just want to get your thoughts on this. You're saying the algorithm changed a little bit, and I think after COVID, we had so many, I'll say so, a lot of months of maybe 3 years of people posting different content on Instagram, silly videos, people dancing and doing all these things. Maybe Instagram, I thought, this is what people want to see. We want to see more comedy. And has it changed things? Because like you said, you'd post your pictures, your little bits of video behind the scenes, you get a lot of decent engagement. It just doesn't work anymore. I mean,
No.
I did a post last week from my last wedding. I think I had about, I don't know, 15, 20 comments, which seemed quite a lot. You're getting 100, 150 comments on your style of reels, and it's really creating a conversation, which is brilliant for the algorithm. It's knowing that, Instagram knows that people want to see and interact with your content, so they're pushing it even more. I think it's people watching or listening. It's like, what can they do? What is recommended for them? They need to find an edge or do something a little bit differently that's going to get people talking.
Yeah.
And I think, we've always said about Instagram and social media, you've always got to try and show your personality. They want to know who they're booking rather than just the images of weddings. So I think that's really important. But you're taking it to that next level with your humor. It's not just you, it's your humor, it's your personality, and everything rolled into something that's very funny, unique, and very watchable.
Don't get me wrong. When I look back, well, even a week, I'm looking at them thinking these are terrible. These are terrible. I can't believe that anyone's actually looking at these and clicking on them.
That's human nature. It's just human nature, that, isn't it?
But it's something that you have to, if you're going to do this, if people are looking at these reels and they want to do something similar or do their own thing, put their own slant on it, you have to put all thoughts of perfection out of your mind. You need, this is something that I learned from my wife Lucy, who has her little side business is renting out holiday cottages, and she started on Instagram a couple of years ago, and she's doing far better than me. But she started out, she didn't even know what a reel was. She didn't know how to do anything, and she posted every day. 7 o'clock in the morning, she'd make a post on these cottages. She'd make a reel. She'd make a piece of information. She started from very few followers, and I think she must be up to nearly 40,000, I think now. And she continues. She posts every day, no matter if the reel or the post did crap. She will post again the next day, and she's done this for 2 years now. And I said to her, right, and I saw her, this was back last year, I'd say to her, Lucy, come on, you're my wife. Tell me the secret, because my account is dead. No, there's nothing much going on there. How do you do this? And unfortunately, there is no secret. She just posted every day. She engaged with everyone who engaged with her. And she went off to find accounts that she liked, and she engaged with them in a genuine way. So not just the emoji, not just the like. She actually made a nice comment. She saw something that she liked. She asked a question, and she did that. I'd see her texting 6:30 in the morning on Instagram, getting a reel or a post ready. And she did it every day for 2 years. And she started to blow up in her niche. So that's something that stayed with me. And she posted with spelling mistakes, and she posted with text clipping off the side of the video, and she would just say, well, it's done now, it's posted,
Yeah.
and then worry about
Try
the
again
next.
tomorrow.
Whereas
Yeah.
I would,
Yeah, good is good enough is one of our sayings.
yeah, but I'd post like last year. My where my mind was, I'd post a photograph, and I'd post it, and I'd walk away from it. I'd look at it on my phone, and if I saw a shadow in the wrong place, or a fire exit sign that I'd missed out in one of the images, I'd delete the whole post. I would just delete the whole post and kind of move on and try something different. So if you're gonna go out there and do these reels, video and stuff, oh my goodness, it's such a different discipline to photographs. I had to learn very quickly that good enough. Just post it. Just post it. Get your point across. And if no one likes it, forget about it and start again the next day. And just keep doing it. And you learn stuff. You learn how things work. You learn how how to format the text a little bit better every time. And you learn that, you know what, instead of I mean, this is probably absolutely basic stuff for our Adam here, but I'd look at a 12, I'd post something where a sequence was 15 seconds long because I felt it needed that little build up before something happened. Now I've realized that no, cut that in half. No one's going to sit there for 15 seconds in 2024 and wait for the payoff. Something's got to happen. But that took me 3 or 4 months to figure out. So when I go right back and start looking at them, oh, there's some terrible basic content creation errors there. And there still is. I'm posting all kinds of wonky stuff and spelling mistakes and all kinds, but you've just got to do it. You've just got to post it and move on to the next day, because this battle against the algorithm and this social media no man's land that we're in, it's just, you just have to keep pushing forward. You just have to keep on with it. And sadly, no one cares. No one cares if you've made a spelling mistake, and no one cares if your video's not perfect. And they're going to forget about you the next day. So you just have to keep doing it. You have to keep doing it. You have to keep turning up. Oh, you hate it when people say that. You have to keep turning up every day and post something and get involved and go and find something that you like and talk to them. And genuinely now, it's getting hard. But every time I got a new follower in February and March, I'd go on their page and I'd look at all their stuff and read their things and leave some likes on it and say thank you very much. And if anyone shared me to a story, I still do. I message them. Thank you very much for sharing that. That's fantastic. It's getting a bit harder now because there's quite a few. I mean, it's a nice problem to have, but there's a few more people who are joining now. Time. But I think it's just, you've just got to be involved. You can't do it half-arsed anymore. I think
Consistency is the key, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got to be consistent. Yeah, absolutely.
Some of your videos. So there was a recent one about when you hear noise, the speeches aren't due for an hour, and you hear them clapping in the other room.
Yeah.
And so on the reel, because I mean I love this one because that's my worst fear at a wedding. And on the video, on the reel, there's about several different locations and angles, and you're sprinting like you sprint
Down the
about
street.
60 miles over parkour, over walls, through bushes, down the street.
Yeah.
It was brilliant. But that obviously has taken a fair bit of like filming and editing and going from place to place. And I can tell that sometimes you're just doing them on your dog walk. But sometimes it looks like you've put a lot of production value into it, and you say that you don't know what you're doing and you're learning, and they don't always turn out great. But some of those must take a lot of thought and production. I guess do you spend hours doing it, or how long do you spend on average on your?
This is where people who plan things out would be much better positioned than me, because with me it usually starts off with a little idea, and it was hearing the sound in the other room, and then so I take the first clip where the joke was going to be dropping your cup of tea. That was almost going to be the joke, or dropping your cup of tea. But then I think, let's step up a little bit. Let's have me running off. And so I'm thinking, what can I do? But then I think, no, let's take it up another notch. Let's actually run down the street, and let's get the entire camera bag out into the street. And it just you just build the layers up. So it takes it does take time, because I don't plan it. I keep coming back into the house and then thinking, oh no,
adding elements to it.
So sometimes they can
But I mean, obviously it's sustainable because you've been doing it every day for 6 months. But
yeah, I mean, some of them have been. You do have to repost occasionally, especially if the first one that you did in February was badly edited. So occasionally I look back and I go, you can give that one another lease of life. On social media, no one cares. That's what I was worried about. I was conceited enough to think that people would remember. Like I don't think I've ever posted in however many years I've been on Instagram. I don't think I've, maybe a handful of times where I've posted the same photograph twice. And a big thing that I noticed on my little discovery of how reels work and how other accounts do things, I noticed some big photography accounts, you just repost the same stuff. It's they have a successful reel or a successful carousel. A week later, they post exactly the same one with a different caption. And then a week after that, they post the same thing again. And these are big accounts with 100,000 followers, 150,000 followers. And I'm thinking, do you know what? If big accounts like that can repost their work, why am I stressing about posting completely original stuff every day? I'm going to reuse some of mine from back in January, February. No one cares. No one cares.
There's a tip for all those people, Adam, who say we're not sure what to post. They've probably got a load of stuff that they've already posted. They can just repost it, different caption.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's that.
Especially if your following's growing at such a rate as well, that a lot of these people that have followed you recently they might scroll back, but they're not necessarily have seen it. Yeah.
So that's a good, if anyone's worrying what to post, go back, see something that you think was you thought you had an interesting point to make, or something that you thought was quite funny, or something that you were particularly proud of that might not have done as good as you would have thought, and just repurpose it and just post it. That is one of the things that was one of the big takeaways over the last 6 months, that you can repost stuff, you can reuse stuff, and no one marks you down, no one's keeping count, no one's keeping score.
Like you say, I think we're all a bit arrogant to think that, oh no, if I post that, everyone's going to go, oh no, he posted that one 6 months ago.
Exactly.
Nobody cares as much as you think they do.
I used to obsess over that. I thought that people were hanging off everything that I said and everything that I posted, but it's just not like that in the real world anymore.
No, when you say it out loud, it even sounds daft, doesn't it?
Just post it. If it doesn't do too well, in another week or a couple of weeks, try it again with a different caption. That might be the one that Instagram decides, do you know what? I'm going to show that to everyone.
Are all the ideas yours, or do you get inspiration from like other accounts, and do you follow other similar accounts and go, oh, I'll do that?
This is something I'm quite proud of. I do not get my ideas from anyone else that unless I've seen something and it's stuck with me subconsciously, I don't look at other reels and go, I think I could I like that idea. I'm going to try and remake it myself.
Well,
I think 99% of my stuff is just as I'm wandering.
I'm gonna call you out here because the DMs in real life one is hilarious, but I'd seen that on an American account about a year before.
When I made that one, I think I had about 3 or 4 messages of people sending me similar videos saying,
Yeah.
"Oh, look, this is like yours. This is like yours."
So what?
Well, with the DMs one, with the DMs in real life, I thought I'm just going to run away. I'm just going to run away. No one's got that. And yeah, people have messaged me saying there's people running away, there's people disappearing, there's people jumping over fences.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a thing.
You
It's
can
a
have the
thing.
same idea as someone else without realizing, can't you?
So that was, and I think that's why that one's done. I think that's my best one. But in terms of views and stuff, maybe that one is one that just it's relatable to so many people.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Which probably means that there's been 10,000 other people as well before I got involved.
I don't think I've seen that one. How far is it up near your top, Panda? I'm just trying to have
I think I've pinned that one proudly near the top. I don't know if you can see pinned ones on your phone.
And what's it called? DMs in real life?
Yeah, there's 3. I've done 3.
You've got the last one where you're like, "Hi, would you be interested in growing your reach for $9.99?" You just go, "Fuck off."
So I learned something on that one as well. When you have captions, Instagram bleeps out your
swearing.
Does it?
Does it?
That's handy.
It does, but for some reason it didn't bleep out my last F-bomb all the way. You can still hear it.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And that one I got loads of messages saying the audio's turned off in my country. It was like in America and places, and they were all saying there's no audio. And it just made me think, I wonder if you put captions on and something to do with the profanity or something, it turned off the audio in certain regions, which was
maybe you should have sorted out the audio, the bleeps beforehand, edited it yourself, and then uploaded it to avoid that. Maybe
bleeped it myself just to make sure that there was nothing that Instagram could punish me for.
Still funny though, those ones, because I think they're universal for wedding to players. We all get, don't matter what the discipline, florist, photographer, whatever, we all get the inquiries and the ghosting. So I think they're probably super relatable in terms of the stuff that you post, aren't they?
Yes, that's just made me think. Before I did the running away reel, I think I did someone turning up at the front door. They've all involved knocking on my front door, and someone knocks on the front door and they want to book me, and then they disappear and leave a note on the floor. But it was very long. It was convoluted. It was probably about a minute 30 because I'd just learned how to do the disappearing person. I posted that. I thought it was brilliant. No one really liked it. It was just, I think it was just too long and it wasn't very, very well edited. So I had that little idea in my head of the message, someone coming and then disappearing, and the little note said that we found someone else to do. Our friend's got a nice camera and we're gonna.
Yeah.
And that one never took off. But the DM one, where he just runs away, I think because it wasn't convoluted. This is another tip as well for your people who are making reels. Don't try and be too clever with the
keep
story.
It simple. Yeah.
Keep it simple and trim as much of the fat off as you can.
Well, that's a simple one, that, because he knocks on the door and he runs away.
You do photos,
and
that's it.
Yeah, and it's 15 seconds and you can just watch the whole, because it's the attention span, isn't it? People are just going, and if it's not if they've not got the punchline within 30 seconds, they're like, oh, can't be bothered waiting for that. Doesn't matter how good it's going to be. I can't be bothered.
Everybody's got ADHD, haven't they? Everyone. It just
Yes.
gets worse every year, doesn't it?
I watch videos sometimes and I go, oh yeah, I've been dying to wait. I've been waiting for this person's content or this movie trailer or whatever it might be. And about 30 seconds in, I go, I'll do it later. I'll watch it later.
Yeah,
And it's just the way we're hardwired now.
We've got no attention span. But yeah, so most of the ideas on my own, I think. As I say, I do scroll a lot. Things go into your brain that might stay with you. But I think what I try and do is make everything, get the idea and then think, okay, well, how can I make it more myself, or more weird, or more something a bit weird, which is why I dressed up as a photograph wizard when I opened the front door to the DM person, because you could just open the door, or you could dress as a wizard.
How many comments and DMs have you had about the duct taped phone across your chest?
Yeah, do you know what? I've actually that's meant to be a recurring theme, but I ran out of masking tape, so it would
it's part of your character now, isn't it?
Part of the character. So unfortunately, I need to go to Tesco and get some more wide masking tape to
Oh, it's brilliant! It's brilliant.
Is that the content creator character where they've got the things?
Well, it was just I was trying to fit as many cameras as I could to myself. And
just the monopod that makes you look like Gandalf with your hair. It's just
the
brilliant.
Power. The staff of power.
Because I'm watching it going, he doesn't even use a monopod, but it adds to the character.
The monopod was purchased during lockdown when I was going to turn into a videographer, but I couldn't be bothered. I watched a couple of tutorials and thought, I don't know what they're talking about.
You should have got our course, Andrew. Should have got our course.
I should have done.
Right,
but
if I can do it
easier. I made a reel about when photographers try to do video, which felt very fitting to me, because I could make that one truthfully about my experiences trying to use a gimbal, learning about log footage. Oh my god! And
I don't know what you're talking about.
I think that's the end of the reel when I throw my toys out the pram, is when the microphone doesn't work and I go, no, I'm out.
Yeah.
The number of things you guys have to deal with, honestly.
Numbers. So your following's grown from, did you say you were on about 8,000 when you started doing it?
Yeah, I think it was about 8 or 9,000. I got rid of quite a few what I suspected to be bot followers. Instagram had just introduced a tool where you can get rid of potential bots and spam.
Yeah.
So I think I was on about 8,000, 9,000, and I think I was just coming up to 18,000 probably tonight or tomorrow.
I mean, in today's world, like a growth of 10,000 or so in a few months is huge, because it is so much harder now to grow quickly.
Yes, it seems to be incredibly tough, and especially when you see, I don't know if you guys are on Threads at all. Do you go on there?
I'm on it. I don't really use it, but I check it for other things. I don't post on it.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of big accounts on there from all different niches that the Threads likes to suggest that you go and have a look at, and there's huge accounts there, and some of the numbers that they're talking about with their big accounts, like it's unbelievable. You have 200,000 followers, and they post reels that have 2,000 views, and it's so difficult now, I think, to grow, to get engagement, to maintain that engagement. It's difficult. So I'm so happy that things are moving and that people are following along.
It just requires that discipline that you've obviously applied, because the consistency, it's doing it every day, it's the genuine engagement, and it's a full-time job doing all that. But one of the questions I was going to ask you earlier was, do you think, like, obviously to keep up that momentum and do it every day and not get bored, is it is it been possible because it's stuff that's true to you? If it had been work, like more, I need to post my pictures,
I
would you have found it harder to stick with?
Yes, definitely. I mean, it's not that I find it hard now. It's just because it's coming up to the kind of the busy time of year. I'm gonna have to be a little bit more tactical about it. But yes, if I was just looking at it, I need to post something today. I just need to post something, and it's got to be work related or this, that, or the other. I would struggle. I would definitely struggle. I feel that I've found something that I like to do, and if you half enjoy doing something, you can stick at it. I think a lot easier. I think if I discovered that wedding tips for couples, so let's say posing tips. If posing tips were the next big thing on Instagram and the algorithm was rewarding them, I would have to leave that to other people. It's just something that I could probably get a week or two out of, and then I'd probably give up because although it's tied to our work, it just doesn't. I just don't want to talk about it to other people. And if I'm not
Mm.
interested in talking about it, or if it doesn't spark anything within me creatively, then it's not gonna interest anyone else.
I think
I,
that's such an important element of it in order to be able to maintain it at the levels that you need. You've
you
just got to
have
have that
Really,
enjoyment, haven't you?
can't really fake it till you make it. I don't really believe in that because you've got to enjoy what you do. You've got to enjoy it, or you've got to enjoy the process, and
yes.
you've got to get something out of it. So, and this is this is the beauty of the wedding industry, isn't it? Really, we're all in little professions that we get pleasure from. I love singing. Adam loves getting the love from his couples when he delivers his film and
Yeah.
saying it's a nice place to be, isn't it? But that's why I could never have a normal job because I'd hate it. I just feel like I was dying inside.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We're
You've
quite-
got you've got to enjoy it. If you're going to do something daft like this for this long, I mean, 6 months posting videos feels like a lifetime. But if you're going to do it for this long, you've got to be interested in it. You have to let your own personality into the equation. I feel like you just run out of steam so quickly. You'd be burned out trying to do it. So there's definitely, it's getting to the point now where I do want to work on posting more work.
yeah,
Maybe
have a
doing
mix. Have a
slightly
mix.
different types of reels so that I can maintain it long term. But now that I've seen that it can work, and Instagram, although all reports that Instagram is dead and the algorithm hates us all, you can harness it, it can work.
Oh yeah.
You've just got to stick with it. So you can't give up. Do something that you're interested in. Maybe have more of a strategy than me. I'm not doing it in the correct way. If you're going to do it, write some stuff down. Have a little bit of a plan. Have a little bit of a schedule. Think of some topics. Ask ChatGPT to come up with some ideas. Just think about it a little bit more. I'm a little bit of a weirdo in the way that I do things. I kind of do it on the spot and think of something in that moment, and turn it into something. But that's a very strange way of doing it, honestly.
I think it's really interesting because when you watch your videos, it's almost as if they're made for your peers, really, and people in the industry. But I think you've done so well with the fact that it translates over to the brides and grooms as well, because they just like it for the comedy effect, I'm sure. And the people in the industry love it because you're actually doing truthful videos and making it funny about stuff which they probably talk about all the time when the speeches are people being late. And I tell you, I've got so many potential videos about what I'd like to say, but I'm not sure if I can.
That's another point as well. You do have to be. I think you have to be careful about what you post, and I've got a set of unwritten rules that
Yeah, you got to be a bit PC, a little bit.
I have to stick to. I get a lot of messages with suggestions. People love to share their ideas, but a lot of them are breaking my rules, which is you never say anything bad about your clients ever. I don't care if it's past clients, if they're from 10 years ago. Never speak bad about your clients. And I've always been very careful to do that. Even in the video about the speeches between courses, it's never it's never the couple's fault, and you never want to complain about them. It's that you've got to do it carefully. Yeah, and a lot of the messages I get are people saying, "Oh, you should do this one about when the bride does this, or when the groom does this," and I'm like, and I say, "Oh, I'll add it to the list," but once you go down that route, I feel like you're in danger of becoming one of those annoying, whinging type people that you see on threads or in Facebook groups who just like to complain about stuff.
Didn't you do a reel about those people where you stood on a podium with a megaphone? You're going,
Yes, I did. Yeah,
you must feed us at every single time.
yeah. I mean, Threads is a great source of content. I mean, I feel like there's a whole genre of reels, potential reels, just laughing at the
People's moans on Threads. Yeah,
the complaints of these photographers and people who, like, we have a great industry, and we work with lovely people, and we get to go and see fabulous places and do cool stuff. I mean, this is a cool job. Like, we get to buy our gadgets, and we get to go in and do all that kind of cool stuff. And reading the complaints, you'd think that we had it bad. They just need to cheer up. Honestly, just need to crack a smile and get on with it. But it's an endless source of inspiration for me. So
yeah, that's a good tip.
They can keep on crying about it.
Yeah, you reached. I think I saw recently that you reached 1 million followers in 30 days or something. Sorry, 1 million accounts in 30 days or
1 million accounts engaged with or something, I think they call it.
Yeah, so they've seen your stuff, scrolled through it.
1 million accounts reached in the last 30 days, and I've maintained that since then. It says 1.1 million now.
And I imagine it will grow. I mean, that's nuts. But have you got any? Do you get any insight into who that is? Like, brides, obviously, it's been nice to hear that you've got getting inquiries and brides and grooms are liking it. Because I was hoping that was the case, and that was what I was interested to find out from you.
Yeah.
Because I did assume most of it would be fellow photographers and suppliers and stuff. But out of those millions of accounts that you're reaching, are a lot of them like, do you get to see? Oh yeah, I can tell actually a lot of these new followers are photography accounts.
Unfortunately, Instagram doesn't reveal too much of that information. What it tells you is just the numbers. So the numbers of accounts that your content has reached. So, for example, I mean, this is a bit sad. In the last, not sad, but in the last 30 days, my posts, so just my regular posts where you post something, in 30 days, I've reached 2,000 accounts. That's 356 followers and 1,700 non-followers. And then the reels in the last 30 days have reached 1.1 million non-followers and 11,000 followers.
Oh, wow.
So they don't give you too much on the insights side, but you can click to see who the type of account that they're showing, if it's a follower or a non-follower.
Yeah. So from your followers that you gain and and your DMs and stuff, is it a lot of photographers or is it other types of suppliers?
I think it's mostly photographers from what I could tell, but there's a large number of videographers, content creators, venues, and other various types of suppliers as well, all coming through.
Yeah, because I follow Annabelle at Love My Dress, and I see her cropping up in your comments a lot.
Yeah,
And like I was thinking, like the sources like that, planners and blogs, and that must be good for you.
So that's the other part of the plan, because I'm clearly not marketing towards brides and grooms anymore. That's gone out the window with the type of reels that are working for me. The numbers of people, one of the ways to get bookings now is to be referred, to be mentioned by someone, and I'm getting recommended by people who follow me on Instagram, makeup artists, dressmakers, venue managers, people who have come across the content are now putting my name to their couples, which is something I never thought about, but it makes so much sense. I think there's a well-known rule in branding or marketing that you've got to be mentioned 3 or 4 times to stick in someone's head.
Yeah.
Someone's got to see your logo or see a picture from you 3 or 4 times, and then it will start to sink in. So the people who are following me, they see the funny reels, they see the jokes, they engage, I chat with them. When the time comes that someone might ask them for their recommendation, if you're getting your content in front of them, the chances are that your name might stick in their head. It might just get in there where they say, actually, yeah, Howard, check out his Instagram, or Adam, check his Instagram out, or I follow this photographer's a bit weird, Andrew Keher, check him out. And that's an element that I feel I want to go more towards that. If you can get your name in these people's minds, then they can mention you to the next person in line, and eventually the bride and grooms get your name, and they check out your Instagram and they go to your website, and then the cycle continues. With the sheer volume of stuff on social media at the moment, we have to try and find our angles to get in front of our couples. And I think social media alone these days is not enough, I think, to sustain where we want to be. I'm very, I don't know how it works with you guys, but I'm lucky that probably about half of my bookings come from past couples who refer me to their friends and family, and I get booked again. So I almost feel like this could be a method of just extending that. Just become that supplier that kind of everyone knows about. That's got to be a good marketing strategy. Just have your.
So you're posting this stuff in order to get, well, not in order to get the recommendations, without it being so see-through and transparent. But you're doing all this and you're enjoying it and it's growing your following, but you're aiming towards these suppliers because you know that that might lead to the odd recommendation here and there.
I think, I mean, this is still early. This is still very early days. But if I had people with much bigger followings, they can monetize. They can advertise things. They can get sponsored. They can do workshops. They can talk at conferences and get paid. As I think I said at the start, I've got no interest in education or running workshops, or, I mean, can you imagine any company wanting me to sponsoring me to talk about one of their products? I mean, maybe they're out there and they go, do you know what? Maybe this guy, we can take a chance with him.
Sellotape might use you for
Sellotape, but I think when you start to get views, people are naturally going to say, how can I monetize what I'm doing? And it's just, I know this sounds terrible, it's just not of interest to me. I don't want to sell things on my, I mean, and this could all change, but I'm not that interested in that side of things. And that I know that that's not the right way of doing things. Again, I don't do things the right way. So instead of monetizing myself directly by saying, I'm going to advertise these fantastic third-party Sony camera batteries, and they pay me a few quid to do that. I'm thinking, no, if I just keep doing what I'm doing and I get into the supplier's sphere where they're going to start mentioning me to other people and I get tagged in things and I get suggested, that is kind of a way of monetizing this, in a weird kind
it's
of
leading to bookings, isn't it? Directly and indirectly. Because that was one of my questions: was have you got any plans to monetize it elsewhere? And my immediate thoughts were education, workshops, etc. But you've answered that.
Answered that.
While my body hasn't entirely given up yet, I can still go out and photograph my weddings. I mean, I've got a few aches and pains. I am 41 now. It's the end is nigh and all that. But
come on.
While I can still go and photograph my weddings with 100% energy and passion and creativity, that's what I want to do. That's what I love to do. I also enjoy, hopefully, making people crack a smile at our very serious industry every now and again. So if I can just combine the two of them and use these videos and this social media platform as a way to get more of the stuff that I like doing, I'm going to try and do that for as long as I can. If it all goes amazingly well and the account goes really big and there are opportunities down the line to do other less physical stuff, then I'm not stupid. I'm going to look at those. But for now,
you're going to sell merch, photo wizard t-shirts and stuff.
Photo wizard t-shirt, something that doesn't feel like a sellout. But I just can't.
It's good that there's no grand plan other than just to keep doing it and book your weddings.
I love doing my weddings, and I like. Do you know what? I like when people say, "I found that quite funny." I must admit that's something that keeps me going.
Cool.
That's all. That's what I want to do. And yeah, so in my mind, the logic in my brain is that that's a way of monetizing it. Get my name in front of as many people as I can, and if 0.01% leads to a booking, then happy days. That's what I'm going to do.
Homework, Adam. Homework. And anybody listening or watching, why not just do a silly video and see what happens?
Well, I think they're funny. I think they're brilliant. Keep them up because they
think they're excellent.
And do you know what? I've seen quite a few of them, and obviously because I watch them, I get fed your next one and your next one and your next. But they just seem to keep getting better as well, which I love. I think James
I'm so glad we've answered the question though, Adam. That how does it cross over to the brides and grooms, and how does it get you bookings? And I think you've explained it perfectly, Andy. Thanks for that.
I mean, not to keep saying, I get lots of I hate it when people say that. I get lots of messages talking about this thing. I've never had messages before. Okay, so I'm milking it at the moment. Last year my DMs were empty. Okay, no one messages me. At the moment, it's a little ridiculous, but a lot of the messages are saying we would love to do reels, not necessarily funny ones or weird ones, but we want to do reels, and be ourselves, but we're not sure how it leads to bookings. Are you getting bookings? How does it work? And some of the poor people have had my life story messaged back to them, as in, well, I'm glad you asked that, because here's my grand plan. What I'm thinking is, it's not so much that the videos themselves are going to lead to bookings. And I've typed it out, and this photographer in Argentina or wherever it is like thank you very much, smiley face, and then you never hear from them again. But it's good sometimes to get it out of my system as well and kind of, you know,
It's
get that a
great.
little bit of an
And
idea.
if you ever need a special guest for one of your videos, I'm dead up for it.
Maybe you can do a
Collaboration.
moaning video about the wedding singers on a wedding when you think you're going to have a break during the wedding breakfast, but the singer needs to be photographed. Or
Well,
I'm there, man.
I did think at some point, and collaborations could be a funny way of doing it because I and quite, I suppose, quite easy in a way because I just get you to take your own clips at wherever you are, and we'll kind of put something together.
But yeah, I know that's a gripe with photographers with me because me and Johnny have been back and forth this for years. Is we ever booked on a wedding? Is that, oh, for fuck's sake, Howard's on it? You know,
I don't get to eat me dinner. Yeah,
I've actually got to do a bit more work, you know. But I tell you, if we ever did a wedding together again, then we should definitely do something.
Absolutely.
The same with you two as well.
Well, the photo versus video is an endless pool of comedy.
The photo versus video is
That's
a
a good one.
saga. There's more stuff I need to do with that one. That's an endless.
Brilliant. It is endless, that one. It is.
It's a good last question. Sorry, go on. Say it then, because this is.
I'm just going to say that with the photo and video one, it's good because when you play the characters of people, you can slag off each industry, and it's not me slagging off the things. Like when I told the photographer to leave the grain slider alone, and it doesn't, you know, if everyone wants to look like film, but if film actually looked like that, Kodak would have gone out of business. And I can be brutally honest about photography, but it's not me saying it, it's the videographer saying it, if you know what I mean. So
yeah.
I've quite enjoyed playing the characters. I've got more to do with that. But go on, what were you going to say?
No,
Sorry.
I was just because it is a good way to end, just on the point of you getting loads of messages and people asking you how you've done it and how you recommend it. Just if you've got any sort of advice for someone that was looking to do something similar, like want a tip or.
I think what you could do, and this is probably what I'm going to do as well at some point, but if you go onto Instagram and start looking at reels in a more methodical way, just go through them, find one that resonates with you. Maybe it's not from your niche. Go and look at fishing reels or golf reels or something that's got absolutely nothing to do with what you do. Maybe go on YouTube and look at YouTube shorts and just find something that potentially could work for photography or videography or wherever it is that you do, and see if you can draw some inspiration from that. So not copying it scene for scene, but just find something that works, that makes you laugh or whatever, and go, how could this relate to the industry that I'm in? And then just have a go at making your own spin on it. I don't think there's anything wrong with going to get inspiration. I mean, there's definitely a statistic kicking around of how many trillions of short form videos there are out there now. I'm pretty sure everything has been done 10,000 times over. But what can't be copied is your own little personality. So put your little stamp on it. Just go and try something. Go and look at other short videos. Get a little idea and try and put your own spin on it. And it doesn't have to be the full 90-second extravaganza. Just go and create something, post it, and don't worry about the performance of it. Just go and do it. And once you've done that first one, honestly, the second one is a little bit easier. And then go and do it again, and go and do it again. And eventually you'll just start to see opportunities, and you'll have ideas, and it will all start getting a bit easier. Just like it probably did when you started videography or when I started photography. It was an absolute nightmare. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and I thought I'd never get it. 6 months later, 12 months later, I know what I'm doing. I understand. 10 years later, it's easy peasy. So you've got to make that start. Get out there and do it. And if it's crap, don't worry about it, because no one cares. Just get it posted and see what the algorithm does. It might decide to bless you that day. It might it might bless you the next day. But you've got to just go and post something. Just go and do it.
Yeah,
People
nice.
need to understand that no matter what they do, whatever they try for the first time, they're going to be really shit at it. And the next time they do it, it's still shit. And then the next time, it's a bit better.
Absolutely.
It's life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nice, brilliant, mate. Thank you.
Yeah,
we
100%.
we always close with a couple of questions that we ask everybody, all of our guests. If you weren't a wedding photographer, but you are still doing something in the wedding industry, what other facet would you have a go at?
Would it be really boring to say videographer? Would that
That's
be
fine.
would that be really
Bit of
boring?
a cop out, but no, that's fine.
It's well, I would have thought it was a cop out until I've started to dabble with video in a more serious way, and I realize what a different discipline it is altogether. So I would class them as two separate things. This is where all the people in the comments go, well, I can do video and photo. Well, I can't. Okay? I'm terrible, and I've watched the tutorials, and I've got all the gear and no idea. So
I appreciate the consideration, because it's a skill, it's an art form. We have it tough.
Absolutely. So yeah, I'd be a videographer probably.
Yeah, cool.
Or a drummer in the band. I
Yeah.
can't drum, but I've always wanted to.
What's the most hilarious, funniest, embarrassing story that's happened to you at a wedding, or that you've seen happen at a wedding?
Well, I made a.
You could make a video about this, maybe.
I made a reel about it. It didn't do very well. I was going for a different tactic, but it's still the worst thing that's happened to me at a wedding. It's when I was forming up the group photographs, and my brain decided to leave the building, and I've got the bride and the groom, and I say, right, there's the bride's mum, sister, brother. Where's dad? Dad, bride's dad, where are you? Come on. He died 5 years beforehand, and they had told me about it, and I knew about it, and we'd spoken about it that very day.
Oh my God.
But they let me.
I did see your reel about this, actually.
Yeah, they let me carry on. No one stopped me, and
Dad,
yeah, I'm doing
where
the
the freaking
I'm
hell
doing
is
the.
he?
Don't mention it, people.
It was just, and then yeah, I can't remember if it was the bride or one of the guests said, "He's dead." Just like that, he's dead. And I went,
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. It's the way that would have been delivered at the time. Like,
he's dead.
yeah,
And I just
you'd
thought,
want to die, wouldn't you?
oh gosh. Well, luckily, they did laugh about it, and the bride was laughing, and she said, "You know what? It was a while ago, so it's fine."
Mm.
I was just
Yeah. Luckily, it wasn't super fresh or anything.
The thing is, I've probably done more embarrassing things. I've fallen over in public and tripped over on the way out to church and all that kind of stuff. But that one just, for me, obliterated everything. I wanted to melt and disappear from sight.
Yeah, it's trying to come back from that. You lose your head, don't you?
Luckily, it wasn't on video at the time.
Well, that's great. Listen,
I've dropped a few lines at him during my set, and I just thought, fucking hell, why did I say that? That was just didn't work whatsoever. But yeah, wedding moments.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've said things. I've said things that I've heard Howard say to guests, and it's gone down a storm. The wedding singers cracked a joke, and everyone's laughed it up. And I've gone, oh, I'll bank that. I'll use that line. It was funny. And then I said it the next week, and it's not gone down anywhere near as well because it's the video guy from the corner of the room saying it, and it's learning to know your role on the day.
We've got no Riz. We've got no Riz.
No Riz.
The wedding singer with the commanding presence and the microphone and
it was a
your Riz.
I won't say what it was, but it was the line was like a risque sort of joke. Aimed
wasn't the tits and teeth one, was it?
It was the tits and teeth, yeah.
All right,
so,
okay.
But Howard said it to all the bridesmaids, and hilarious because he's the entertaining, cheeky, chappy singer. The video guy says it, and I've learned this the hard way. You've got to know your role on the day. And one of the bridesmaids, the group that I said it to, she went, "She's only 15. That's really inappropriate." And I was just like, "I'm so sorry." No, I.
I'm feeling. You know what? I'm going red for you.
It's just awful, isn't it? And you know, how do you carry on with your day knowing that they're judging you for that?
I can imagine you saying it as well, like the videographer in the corner. Don't forget tits and teeth. And they're all like,
what did he just say? She's only 15. Oh God, honestly. It's the first and last time that I've heard a Howard joke at a wedding and gone, I'm using that. Never again.
Yeah. Some people can get away with it.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic.
Anyway, we'll end on that note. Thank you for coming on, Andy.
Andy Keher. Right.
Thank you very much.
Good night. Good night.
Cheers, mate.
Right. Was there? Can you use any of that? My God.
Yeah, no, I thought that was really good.
So thanks so much for listening. We really hope that you found this episode insightful, inspirational, and if you did enjoy that, then please consider subscribing to us wherever you get your podcasts, iTunes, Spotify. We're a Think Wedding Business.
We're also on YouTube and Instagram, so if you want to watch us, you can go over to YouTube and find us at Think Wedding Business. And the same over on Instagram to keep up with all of our future episodes.
We'd really love you to subscribe and join us on this journey. And if you do like this content, please consider giving us a 5-star review. It just helps us get seen and helps spread the word.
So thanks again for listening,
Wings
and we'll see you
out.
next time.
Bye-bye.